I'm going to be very, very open and transparent and honest with you all today because I did something that I never thought I would do as an emotional eating coach, as somebody who teaches women specifically how to lose weight without relying on quick fixes. I tried a GLP-1. Most specifically, I tried Mounjaro. Now, here's what happened next because it completely shocked me. Within hours, I noticed the food noise was gone. I mean, I'm talking maybe 1 to 2 hours at the most. I'm not reduced or a little bit quieter in my life. No, it was gone. For the first time ever, I could look at like a cake or chocolate, sticky buns and chips, and I felt nothing. It was like looking at a kitchen chair. I didn't have any thoughts about it. There was no internal battle. There was no cravings or negotiating or obsession or thinking, oh, I'm FOMO, like none of that. It was all gone. It was literally like somebody had unplugged that constant metal chatter that we all have around food. And honestly, I'm going to be so for real. That part was freaking awesome. Your girl was not mad about it. But there was another side to this entire experience that people do not want to talk about. Because yes, while the food noise disappeared, some other things were going on at the same time that I started to notice that were not so funsies. My digestion was slowing down dramatically. I started noticing within a very short time muscle loss, and I realized super fast that these medications are not the magic wand we've all been searching for. They are tools, powerful tools, but still tools. So today I want to have a really real, raw and open conversation about what GLP-1s actually are, the difference between semaglutides and tirzepatide, what peptides actually are, why these drugs reduce the food noise, and the side effects that women are not prepared for. Because this episode, she's not just about a GLP-1. She is the honest conversation that I wish more people were having out there. So grab your iced coffee, latte, green tea, whatever you're having, sis. Sit down and let's get into it. What is up, you gorgeous, fabulous creatures, and welcome to a brand new season of the Losing It podcast. Welcome on back. You're here with Kylie Pax, Australia's emotional eating coach, and I could not think of a better way to dive into this new season than with a conversation about GLP-1s. Your girl cannot brush up against the screen these days without somebody yip-yapping in your ear about a GLP-1 or somebody lost a whole bunch of weight. Oh, what did you take? GLP-1s, girls, peptides, Ozempic, Mounjaro, all the things. But what it didn't take me long to realize that as more and more of these drugs were hitting the market, there was a lot of confusion, there was a lot of misappropriation, people were really not understanding what they were taking. And because as women, we are so freaking desperate, this is what me and my bestie used to dream about when we were little kids. We used to think, oh, if only there was like a pill you could take or an injection or something you could take that would melt the fat off your body. And I know that is what these GLP-1s seem like. But before we go any further today, let's start by actually understanding what these medications are and what they are not. So if you've opened up a phone screen in the last 12 months, you have probably heard somebody yelling about peptides, semaglutide, Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy. And to be so for real, I think a lot of us have no idea what any of it means. So today I'm going to give you the simple breakdown. I like to call it GLP-1 for dummies. Because that's pretty much how I had to break it down for myself. So GLP-1 stands for a glycogen-like peptide 1. Basically, it's a hormone that your body already produces. So I know there's a lot of fear around these products. A lot of women are scared of taking them. Honey, listen, your body already produces GLP-1. It's the hormone your body already naturally produces to regulate your appetite, insulin distribution, blood sugar, digestion, how full you feel, how hungry you feel. So what has happened is we've got companies out there now that are mimicking this hormone that the body already produces by creating the medications that we now know as Ozempic and Wegovy and all these types of things. But I want to talk about Mounjaro specifically today as well because I want to set it apart in its own class. It's the main GLP-1 that is distributed here in Australia, and it is slightly different. Mounjaro contains something called tirzepatide, and a tirzepatide is something that activates 2 different pathways in your body instead of just one, which can give you greater effects. So it activates the GLP-1 hormone and the GIP. Now, that second pathway is why so many women are experiencing even stronger appetite suppression and more significant weight loss on Mounjaro compared to some of the other semaglutides that are out there previously. I'm going to touch really quickly on peptides because it's the listen, again, every time I open up my screen, there are people that are microdosing peptides, and now you can buy peptides. Peptides? There are people that are microdosing peptides, and you can buy peptides online. And listen, your girl has done her research. These things are not legal in every country yet. Throughout Australia, most of these you cannot yet get unless you are buying them somehow in a shady way online. So I'm just going to leave a whole big ass disclaimer and warning around that. I personally will not touch any other peptide unless it has been passed and approved by every medical body that's out there and can come from a registered doctor. But that doesn't mean we're not going to talk about it today. Now, I know everybody out there suddenly thinks they're a peptide expert because you watch 3 TikTok videos, but let me break it down for you. A peptide is basically just a chain of amino acids. Think about it like the little messenger molecules in your body. Different peptides do different things. If you've ever watched the Seinfeld series, you will remember that Elaine was trying to explain to George different drains go to different places, which was why he should not pee down a shower drain. Well, your body is a little similar. Different peptides do different things. Some are going to affect healing, others are going to affect hormones, some will be specifically for your appetite or muscle growth or your skin, metabolism. But GLP-1 medications are just one category in the peptide-based medications. So, are GLP-1s the be-all and end-all in the peptide world? No, not at all. The peptide world is huge now. It has been exposed, and now that we know about it, there's no going back. Honestly, it's becoming a little like the wild, wild west out there. So let's talk about the most shocking part that everybody I know has experienced when they've tried a GLP-1, which is food noise absence. Now, this one was absolutely huge for me, and it genuinely blew my mind because I know a lot of us think about GLP-1s as appetite reduction and weight loss, and that's fantastic. I'm here for it, and I'm sending you the clapping hand emojis. But the biggest shift for me personally was the absolute filthy absence and complete silence around food mentally. And unless you've really struggled in your life with emotional eating, you probably won't even get this. It won't make any difference to you. You won't fully understand how significant that is and what a phenomenal change it can make. But as someone who has struggled their whole life with obsessive thoughts around food, it's all I would think about from morning till night. All I could think about was everything I wanted to eat and how to avoid eating it. And that was basically the brain space of my day. It's the constant mental chatter of what should I eat? Should I have that? I don't think I should have that. Don't eat that. Well, maybe just one. Oh, okay, I've screwed it up. I'll start again tomorrow. That's the basic cycle of how we exist. And girl, it is freaking exhausting. So when I took Monjaro and within 1, maybe 2 hours max, that noise was gone. There was absolute crickets in my brain immediately. I could finally look at food that would normally activate every dopamine receptor in my brain, and it felt neutral. It didn't feel repulsive or unattractive. It just felt like nothing. I wasn't disgusted by it. I wasn't tempted by these foods anymore. It was just neutral, like looking at a rock on the side of the road. It was nothing. It didn't mean anything. I didn't feel any kind of way about it. Honestly, that felt so liberating to me because for the first time ever, I felt that I was fully present for my goals, my life, my work, my future. I was able to focus on that without fighting any other demons in the background. So instead of spending all my mental energy, resisting cravings all day, I was fully engaged in my life. That is why I completely understand why these medications are changing people's lives, because for some women, that food noise has been running their life for decades. But here's the part that nobody warned me about. Let's talk about the downside, because of course there is one. Nothing in life is a free ride. You don't get something amazing without having to pay something on the downside. Now, I found there was several issues that were a little concerning to me, and the first one was definitely digestion. These medications dramatically slow gastric emptying. I knew that going in. I just wasn't sure how it was going to feel or if I was going to feel about it. What the slowing of gastric emptying actually means is that the food you're eating stays in your stomach much longer than it should. I'm talking hours longer. Girl, you can burp up a rice cake 15 hours later. That part, not fun. Of course, that's why you feel fuller for longer, which sounds great in theory, but in reality, I personally hated that feeling. I could feel that food sitting in my stomach way after it should have been gone. It felt heavy, gluggy, uncomfortable, not bloated. I will say that, definitely not bloated, but not pleasant. Honestly, it made me feel a little anxious because your brain naturally starts thinking, should this food really be sitting in my stomach that long? Is it going to cause some kind of ulcer? Am I going to end up with stomach cancer? Like, I was thinking all the thoughts. But let's be clear, GLP-1s are designed to slow digestion. That is why you are less hungry. But for some people, the delaying of that gastric emptying in your stomach, like having all that food just sitting around in there, holding a corroboree for all day and all night, that can become a little stressful. There have been documented cases of severe bloating. People do feel a little bit nauseous or constipated. I personally didn't suffer from any bowel issues because of it, but it is something that you should definitely be aware of because they are now being discussed a little more medically. And that is why I found fiber will be your number one friend during this period. Hydration is important. Movement is important. Because if your digestion is slowing down, you need to support your gut properly. And honestly, I feel like this is where a lot of women are taking these medications without being educated enough. I jumped online and bought an absolute bucket load of supplements in general, and most specifically bowel and stomach supplementation. Reason being is because, and this is the next thing I wanted to talk to you about, muscle loss is an actual real problem. Don't negate this from your considerations. This part matters a lot. Within 2 to 3 weeks, and bear in mind, I only took this for the 30-day period that you get the prescription. So within 2 to 3 weeks, I could already tell I wasn't just losing fat. In fact, I don't even think I lost fat. I lost muscle. The scale was going down, but my body wasn't looking particularly different. It wasn't looking tighter, definitely not. If anything, it looked softer and flabbier and more like some kind of custard pudding that is 45 days old. You want to throw it in the bin. And this was despite me eating quite high protein as much as I could, prioritizing complete proteins in my diet and doing a form of resistance training. Now, if I'm doing all of that, imagine what's happening to the women that aren't doing these things. This is the missing conversation online because people are celebrating, oh my God, she lost 15 kilos and they lost 25 kilos and look at her over there, girl, she lost 85 kilos on her Mounjaro. Okay, that's fantastic. But what exactly did you lose, sister? Studies are now showing that a significant percentage of weight loss in GLP-1s comes from your lean muscle mass unless you are actively protecting it on the daily, not once in a while, not lifting a resistance band because you got a twinge in your foot and you need to stretch your calf. No, your muscle is everything metabolically. It's what supports your insulin sensitivity, your metabolism, your strength, your bone health as we age. It's your long-term insurance policy against regaining the weight that you're working so hard to lose, especially once you hit over 40. So if you are taking a GLP-1 and you're surviving on a half a tub of yogurt and a spoonful of iced coffee, girl, no, like that is so delusional. You are going to run into problems eventually. Protein is a complete non-negotiable. Strength training, also a non-negotiable. You should be doing those things whether you're on GLP-1 or not, because honestly, this is why these medications should come with a big ass level of education and coaching, not just a prescription. It's like, okay, good luck, babe. See you in 30 days. Now let's talk some of the other rumors that are floating around there online, like hair loss, nutrient deficiencies, and other hidden problems, because this really fascinated me. I originally was thinking, okay, well, the medication must be causing hair loss, and that can't be good. But I dug into the research, and that is not actually what's happening at all. What is happening in many cases is that women are eating so little that they become nutritionally depleted. I'm talking low on everything, not just protein, but iron, zinc, B vitamins, vitamin D. And when you combine that with rapid weight loss, that's what's triggering temporary hair shedding. Now, I use the word temporary because it will return. Well, it should, honey. It should return if you are healthy and strong and return to a metabolically healthy diet. But honestly, it makes complete sense once you understand what your body is doing. Your body is going to prioritize survival over you having a Kardashian level head of hair. It doesn't give a crap about that. Hair, biologically speaking, that's a luxury, girl. You got that. That's just a luxury. Your body doesn't need that thing. So yes, if you're taking a GLP-1, supplementation becomes much more important. I want you to think things like protein powder, multivitamins, your magnesium, omega-3s, essential. If you are iron deficient because you don't normally eat a lot of animal protein, girl, you better stock up on your iron. I took all of it. Vitamin D, collagen in huge amounts, electrolytes. Everything can become incredibly depleted if you are not supporting your body at the same time. Now, No supplements are magic. We know that. But even in the best of circumstances, eating a regular healthy diet in regular healthy amounts, we are still nutritionally depleted these days. So upping your supplements is only going to be a good thing. I took a GLP-1 because I wanted to understand what it was about, how it reacted in my body. I couldn't give educated advice if I had never tried it myself. I had been the dickhead out there online that had said, don't take the GLP-1, that's just cheating and all that bullshit. Well, it's not. I actually learned it's a fantastic freaking tool. And if you feel like it's a good fit for you and your body and your goals, I would say run, don't walk to your GP and talk to them about it. After 30 days, though, this is my honest opinion. GLP-1s can be incredibly helpful, especially for women who are drowning like I was in food noise, but they're not going to give you the transformation of a lifetime. They are opening the window by a crack. A crack, girlfriend. You've got a crack in the window. It's not going to fling the doors open and unlock all the padlocks, but what it will do is give you a period of time for you to reduce the mental chaos so you can finally build the structure, the habits, the routines, the emotional regulation, and the self-trust that you need. And that is what determines whether your results will last or whether you will end up gaining the weight back. Because just because someone's taken a GLP-1 and they lose weight and it comes off, that doesn't guarantee you're going to stay skinny for the rest of your whole damn life. I don't think so. If you have never addressed the underlying problems of emotional eating, self-worth, your self-concept, how you cope with stress, whether you secretly still see yourself as a fat person and what habits you've got that you can integrate into that, all those old patterns will just come running back. Like they will come back with the training wheels gone. They're going to come back real fast. And this is why I know that the work we do inside of the Bombshell Blueprint works, because it's the deeper work. Underneath any other tools that you are using, this is what has to be done. The medication can quiet the noise temporarily, and I do love that for you, but you still have to become the woman who knows how to lead herself long term. So if you're considering a GLP-1 or you're currently taking one, I just want you to hit this really, really clearly. Don't let all the kerfuffle online pressure you into taking something that you are not ready for, but also don't blindly assume that this medication alone is going to solve everything, because your long-term success is always still going to come back down to your daily habits, how you nourish your body, whether or not you decide to preserve your muscle or just let it go to jello, okay? Your nervous system regulation, your emotional healing, your structure, and your levels of self-trust. The medication can help create a space, but it's up to you what you build inside that space. That's what's going to change your whole life. So if this episode helped you, please go ahead, send it to someone who's currently considering a GLP-1 or struggling with emotional eating. And if you haven't already, remember to subscribe to the podcast, leave a review, or share this on your stories on Insta and tag me. I love you all so much. I cannot wait until our next episode. Until then, gorgeous ones, be amazing, have an amazing week, never doubt yourself, and remember the only person who can change your life is you. Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to shimmy your butt over to kyliepax.com and join me inside of the Bombshell Blueprint so you can stop emotional eating and start losing your weight now. You'll also find helpful notes and resources inside my past podcasts that will help you lose your weight without losing your sanity. I will see you next week.